set you free. You never returned. I lie alone in the bed you made with a little that you gave. All you really ever did was burn me. This love is my weakness, holding me down. Won't you run me into the ground? My nights are all sleepless when you're not around. Won't you run me into the ground? There's a few things that you left. There are things I wish I'd kept. Those missing pieces of my former self. I live a lie no matter what I say. Is there any other way to get you back to what you once felt? This love is my weakness, holding me down. Won't you run me into the ground? My nights are all sleepless when you're not around. Won't you run me into the ground? Won't you run me into the ground? This love is my weakness, holding me down. Won't you run me into the ground? My nights are all sleepless when you're not around. Won't you run me into the
I realize that, excuse me, having a heavy song as my lead in isn't the smartest thing to do when you have the energy level that I do. Good evening, B's, G's, NB's, Peens, Vagines, and in between. It's me, Charles, CP, CeePo, WILIscredia, Savage Cinema. What else we got? TGIT, Autopsy, you name it, I'm it. Hello. I'm not showing, no, I'm showing myself. Forgive me, there's been a ton of problems with OBS. It's just a further sentiment to how long it's been since I've been the one driving content on my channel, or at least the live stream on my channel, because I don't really touch anything when it comes to OBS. And there's always something that just does not work. Like this, the visual chat over here, this is like last minute, just kind of taking a window and throwing it up. This is me with little notice, because, you know, when you do things in OBS, you think, all right, I'll just leave it and it'll be the same way. I won't touch anything and it'll be the same way for next time. But nope. My memory is not great. And I don't know like what I'm doing to have certain things happen, but I could have swore I haven't touched anything. And that's part of the problem without streaming on a regular schedule or being the person who's producing the streaming on a regular schedule. Um, I don't know what I did last time to fix the thing that I don't know what the problem is. But all the same, thank you. I'll be able to highlight things here. Sean 99 euro, 99p in euro super chat. Thank you. Michael Doberman says that chin hair. I was able to tie it and have something of a, I don't know. I tried to mimic what Lane Staley did for a stretch there in the 90s, and I grew my chin hair long. So that was not at the height. It was pretty long at a certain point, but yeah, that was back when it was all brown. I swear you don't have ears. The picture that on the thing you talked about with the chin hair, my ears are in that shot. Let's go Oilers. Go ahead, gloat about your team still playing. That's fine. It's nice to see a picture of, oh, great. Young CP from 30 years ago. I don't look that old. If you're going to joke about my appearance, I don't think my age, at least on the outside, that doesn't really make sense to me. If you want to joke about my nose or something, that makes sense. But I don't feel like I look old. Like the implication there is that me in my 20s is 30 years ago, and I don't get the joke. Doesn't make sense. Now, if I'm growing out and all gray, it's a little bit easier to make that joke. But I'm throwing a flag on the play. Then we had the chat issues, and now we don't have, what the hell? Dale, Adam, Doc, what's going on? Nightmares and Nerdscapes. The song's killer. Yes, it is. I will not be able to match the energy or the tempo of that song. Massive apologies. Marty, what's going on? Charles, what's one culture shock you've not gotten used to since you've moved? Well, I haven't moved. Just bouncing around a bit. No real moving. But I understand what you're asking. Be it food, social aspects, retail, what's the one thing you still can't get your head around? Taste, the lack of flavor is interesting. Emily and I just celebrated our 8th anniversary last weekend and went out for Mexican food, but it was not Mexican. Well, I don't know. It's European version, UK version of Mexican, and it tasted good. Don't get me wrong. It was great. Like, it was great if I were making it, white boy ass me. It tastes like something that I would make in the slow cooker, if I'm being completely honest. I don't think the food that we had would get away with calling itself Mexican anywhere in the southern half of the US, or definitely not Mexico. I'm thinking even places in New York. There's quite a lot of flavor, figuratively and literally, in New York, where you can find like really good food from all different pockets of the world. I don't know if this place would be considered Mexican in most of America. That's not to say the food isn't good. It's good, but I wouldn't call it Mexican is basically what I would say. It's fine. It's like if you're going in there expecting, I don't know, if you're going in there expecting Mexican, you're like, oh, what is this store brand stuff? Again, you're talking to someone who misses boxed dust macaroni and cheese. So who am I really to judge? I again had a good time, enjoyed the food. We will probably have some sort of, I don't know, tradition in going there because we seem to be consistently going to Nottingham, if you're American on our anniversary, which it's a nice enough town. It reminds me of like there's some pockets of it that remind me of like old school Greenwich Village, but for the most part, it reminds me of like Portland or Seattle. Very progressive, um, yet also smells of patchouli quite a bit. Read into that however you will. Love the town. Don't get me wrong. Um, had a good time. Why would we go back if we didn't? But it reminds me of something definitely that I can associate with America, but just a little bit different. And flavor would be one of those things. Um, but the supermarkets is another thing, Marty. I don't mean to double up on your question. In America, we have lots of choices, especially for food going to the supermarket. Like, we have an entire aisle. I feel like I'm doing my stand up now. We have an entire aisle devoted to cereal. Um, you can choose between 60, 70 brands of cereal. And in the UK, it's, at its height, maybe 10. And it's like the real brand and then the store brand. And you guys don't have honey nut Cheerios. You have honey Cheerios. And it somehow tastes different, odd. Um, there's things that I miss when I go back and forth. And right now, I like just creature comforts. Like American ramen, I don't know what the hell the difference is between like what the hell is it called? Ramuchin? Maruchan? I know I always get the orange bag and you get like 10 for $3 or something. It tastes different. It seems like in the UK they have to put curry in everything. So getting like the other thing is serving sizes. Oh my goodness. Like one packet of ramen, which again cost you less than $1, or it did the last time I was in the US, could be $5 by now. Enjoy the war, everyone. Um, you could like have a lunch on one packet of ramen. In the UK, it is not fulfilling. Like, I don't know what that is. I mean, we're a fat country in the US. Our serving sizes are a bit ridiculous. I've gotten used to smaller serving sizes, but at the same time, I'm an adult. This stuff can't cost that much. Just let me decide what I can finish, please. Thank you. Hope that straightens everything out, Marty. Thank you. Nightmares and Nerdscape says, my question would be of all the comic and film knowledge that you have, what drove the desire to start YouTube? Ooh, um, that's an interesting question. A sense of hopelessness, if I'm going to be completely transparent and open. The, I was kind of segueing away from doing stand up, and I was trying to start doing filmmaking stuff. And filmmaking's hard. I don't know if anyone's ever told you that, but unless you have money, like money, and this, like when I was doing it, I was comfortable, not comfortable, but something that I would call relaxing today. My financial situation was far better than it's been in the last few years. So I got to like propose something, and someone who I'm not legally allowed to talk about the situation wholesale, but there was some miscommunications where certain things would be provided. I just needed to write and direct, and it was hard because not everyone had the same motivation to see the thing through. I feel bad because all of the actors, for the most part, 80% of the actors, and some dropped in and dropped out, were really, really deserved their work to be seen. That's why I try to get you guys to watch. It's it's rough draft footage that isn't properly edited, but a lot of the actors really busted their tail, and uh, I was impressed. I've written things and had people like perform my words, and it kind of felt like reading a script. When we were doing that, it felt like I was just filming people that knew each other for a while, and like the believability of them, bickering and like you felt like they knew each other for 5 years and not only met 2 weeks before. And I really enjoyed that. There's some parts that I enjoy about it, and there's some parts that are just way too difficult. And to have people behind the camera not really have the same investment in seeing the thing through, um, it's frustrating. So what I decided to do was, well, um, why not just do like Chris Stuckman and at that point it was like Schmoes No and Jeremy Johns and them. And this was after my father had passed. So I figured at least I could talk about it and try to figure out a way to somehow incorporate comedy and things into things. Like I really didn't like traveling anymore. Um, so there was a lot of things that played into it, and I figured, hey, I'm educated. Let me put this education to use. And it was also some version of therapy. And I don't know, even back then, I don't know what I was specifically shooting for, but I like talking about movies, something I would like to consider my channel to be. There's another reason why I don't call this channel Charles or Charles Patterson or anything. I kind of like the discourse. I like hearing different opinions and hearing different people's reasoning for liking or disliking a thing. And I kind of wanted to be the avenue where, hey, listen, why do you hate Inception? Go ahead, tell me why you're wrong. Um, so I never wanted it to be specifically my opinion. And I don't think I properly planned things out as far as setting things up. I just knew I wanted to do something creative, and I just figured the pieces would fall into place. So I don't know. Still not figuring things out. Still don't know what the hell's happening. It's weird because I put everything into doing stand up, and by all metrics in that regard, I wasn't famous, but I was doing it professionally, and that's enough. Uh, you really got to take an account of things when you're doing things. Like I had goals. Like by the time I'm 25, I need to have my own special. I lost track of the fact. Like I was getting paid to make people laugh, and I thought of myself as a failure. And it's like, no, you didn't reach the big goal, but like you're doing something people would really like to do. So appreciate that. Um, hope that answered. I have preloaded questions that I'd like to get to, but I'll try, when I get caught up, I will tell everyone to take it easy for a second. Why is this not? This is frozen now. Yeah, now it's frozen. That's interesting. All right. Ronnie Gardaki, $5 super chat. Thank you. Say P, I like when you, Cody, Brian, Adam, Sean, and Rudy get together and not talk movies and random stuff. What's the next get together? There will be no 31 on 31 from May. I'm pretty sure Cody softened the blow and told at least his patrons that. There won't be a May 31 on 31 for 2026. But I know earlier in the year he said that there's like no chance. It doesn't look good that a debrief will happen. Let me update that and say there's not no chance. And just because there's not a 31 on 31 in May doesn't mean you won't get your autopsy stream fix. That's all I'm going to say. Now, keep in mind that it's low man on the totem pole here, the guy without children, the guy who's like, oh, as long as I'm not injured, I'm good to go whenever. And even then, I still will impose my schedule on them. So it's easy for me to say what I'm saying right now because it's, you know, I have the most loose, most wriggleable schedule out of the group. But it's better than 0%. I would say it's better than 5%. But that's as far as I'm going. Just don't be surprised if you get some Autopsy stream event before October is what I'll say. I gave you a scoop. I gave you a scoop for $5. I think it's pretty valuable because my boss is gonna yell at me for that. Wait, what? Shit. You see Michael yet? I've got issues. People have it feels like a story, half story of Jackson, but I liked it story of Michael and the father. I have not watched it yet. Emily wants to see it, so gotta wait to link up with the real boss, not the kayfabe boss. Joking about your nose feels anti-Semitic to me. I don't know if you made that worse by saying that. I don't know. By implying that my nose is anti-Semitism is in itself anti-Semitic. Do you realize that? Don't give them an open door, nose to door joke. Open door to, easy for you to say. Don't give an open door on nose jokes. I apparently I was giving them an open door to anti-Semitism references, but what the hell do I know? Hi, Michael. You missed it. I talked about my long hair, my long chin hair. CP, ever watch those First Amendment auditor videos? They're kind of a guilty pleasure. Yeah, they're interesting. It's, I could see both sides of people. Like I get another thing I enjoy about like, having conversations like, oh, I never thought of that, but this person does have a point. Like I'm so like on the fence with so many different things because I do like to hear compelling arguments for things. The First Amendment auditor thing, they do flaunt that legally you can't touch me thing a bit hard. I just feel like they have the right to do it, but they shouldn't be arrogant enough to know that someone wouldn't just knock them on their ass because of, the social understanding. Like, hey, I'm asking you not to film me. Can you not do it? I'm on public property. Yeah, I know, but I'm here with my family. Do you mind? Like just having the common courtesy to be, oh yeah, you're not really breaking any laws or anything. You're just, trying to walk your kid to the park. Let me not be such a, I don't know. Know it all. I don't. It's the same thing as like I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you. Like yeah, I know. Just stop. Just can you be a human being for 5 minutes? But at the same time, where would we be without video footage of certain things? So like, I don't know. I can see both sides of the argument depending on what the subject matter is. Like my biggest thing when people ask me things, it's a case by case basis. It depends, and that's not really how you can write laws now, can it? Just it depends. That's not going to look good in the law books, Bibles. No, that's different law. Never mind. How are the Rangers doing in the playoffs? What, did you come here to kick me while I was down? Like, they're not doing well. They haven't won a game yet. Thanks for asking. Are there any directors you think could work well together on a movie? I think Sam Raimi and Tim Burton could do something good. Like co-directing? It'd be interesting. I don't hate your idea. I would like to see a writer-director and a writer-director split the duties. like something we've been joking about for a while now. Like, um, let Kevin Smith write something that Rob Zombie directs. Let Rob Zombie use his eye and let Kevin Smith use his words. And, if you want to share the directing duties on that, cool. But I don't know. Kevin Smith hasn't really had too much of a visual flair. Now, don't get me wrong. Kevin Smith is the reason that I decided, you know what, I'm gonna take my experience with comedy and get into film. So I don't know what that says about things that Kevin Smith and Clerks and all those movies were a thing where I was like, yeah, I could just transport my bit and then make it into film. But since going to film school, Kevin Smith movies don't have much to say visually. And on the flip side, Rob Zombie, can you avoid saying fuck? Can you avoid it? Do you have to do it 50 times per minute? He's got a great eye. I would like to see Rob Zombie direct something where the F word isn't the most heard thing, and it's not Southern fried. So maybe them two working together. Vinegar on fries is something of a culture divide. Yeah, no, never for me. It's difficult being a foodie. You reach a level with your palate where just anything doesn't work. Survive on pizza rolls, $2 super chat. Thank you. Favorite video games. That's a good question because there's a question about something else that I'm currently talking about right now or playing right now. Right now, it's Arc Raiders. I keep meaning to get around to Resident Evil 8, 9. What are we up to? Requiem, whatever number that is. Resident Evil's been pretty faithful. Last of Us, I enjoy those. GTA, just come on, let's go. It's been what, 13 years since a new one. So at the moment, I did not expect Arc Raiders to be as as I don't know, something that I'd be hooked on, but I am like an addict on that game. It's something. I can't explain why either. As a matter of fact, tomorrow night there will be no, not tomorrow night. Sunday night, we're doing the last little bits for this season. There's a couple of things we have to get before they have the new season changeover. I'll be streaming stuff on this channel. Normally, if you want to watch me do stuff, video game stuff, it will be on Twitch, twitch.tv/WILIscredia. But I figured my beginning journey of Arc Raiders was here. I will do the end of this season, the stuff that I need to do Sunday night. So yeah, it depends. I can't explain why games get caught into my net, but I'm hooked. Congratulations on you and Emily's anniversary. Thank you. Come to New Mexico. I'll help you find some Mexico. Help me find. Just close your eyes and point. You could probably smell it. CP, good to see you, mate. Wanted to hear your thoughts about the Warner Brothers acquisition by Paramount and the state of movie studios becoming monopolies. I mean, you said it. It's bad. It's bad that. So what? Disney's actually Disney, Marvel, Star Wars, Fox. Warner is now, or Paramount is now Paramount, Warner. What the hell else? And then, well, whatever is under the Warner banner. It seems Paramount's got a lot of TV stuff, and Warner's got like HBO and all that stuff. Like the straggler you have is Universal. It seems like the big three at the moment are Disney, Warner, Paramount, and Universal. And Universal's kind of like left in the dust here because what do they have to scoop up? And the funny thing is, I think Universal Television is it Paramount? I don't remember. It's bad. It's bad because when you don't have competition, you don't try. And I don't know. Uh, it feels to me like anything that Sony Columbia is the other one, but I wouldn't bank on Sony saving the cinema industry. Um, I beat you to it, Sean. I saw it last second. Um, but I wouldn't put Sony in the big three. They're outside that. Um, the good news about having so much uh, connectivity on the internet and things, people who are looking for different things to watch, you'll be able to find it because there's good things out there that aren't under these major banners, but you're going to have to look for it. Like normal, normies, Joe Sixpack, they're just going to go watch, they watch 2, 3 movies a year and they'll watch the new Pixar, they'll watch the new Marvel, they'll watch Mandalorian and Grogu just because it's the thing they know. And that's the other thing that's like really frustrating about studios, the major studios, is just just go with what you know. Don't gamble on anything. Go with what you know. And like I don't know, Project Hail Mary proves to me that you don't have to spend $500 million. You can drop a couple of dozen million. You could do that. You could make Sinners. There's people out there. You just have to do extra work and go find the creativity. Don't drop half a bill trying to make the new Avengers. Stop trying to replicate the thing from 10 years ago and try to find tomorrow's thing. And those big studios do not want to do that. And if they keep buying each other, they're definitely not going to try to take chances. So I don't know. I keep watching these streaming movies, like the Netflix, the Amazon stuff. I'll be talking with Brian tomorrow night about some recent stuff we saw. It's weird that they're dropping so much money into these things, and it just feels so empty. It's such an odd feeling that we're like spoiled for choice, but like there's nothing out there that it's like, oh my God, you need to see this. This is special. I mean, short of, like I said, Project Hail Mary surprised me at how much I was like, wow, wow, impressive. Sinners was another one. So there's still hope. It's just I don't know if I would trust it from studios that keep trying to buy each other. There's got to be like anti-monopoly laws because Disney was the villain 5 years ago. I remember the reason you have quick turnaround times on VOD releases is because COVID, and both Warner and Universal were pressed against the wall because Disney was, they would release Avengers, and in a cinema with 10 screens, 6 of them were showing Avengers. So the other guys were like, hey, we're fighting for 40% of the theater. Let us out of this deal because like we can't do this. We can't compete with this. And COVID really screwed things up for the theaters because they they had no leverage. So what you have now is as low as 17 days and as mediocre as 30 to 45 day release window, and that that is like the death knell to me. I don't think studios care if the theater industry succeeds or not. Um, I don't know who will save the theaters, but it could be a thing where it just we watch movies differently moving forward. Congratulations. Hey, Raiders, how are you? Congratulations, thank you. Hello, Stiff Kittens. Wait, they don't have Honey Nut Cheerios in the UK? We have them over here in the Emerald Isle. Wonder, has Brexit restricted their access to products? I don't know. There's just honey Cheerios. Um, Sean, 5.99 euro. Thank you. I watched Man of the Year tonight with Robin Williams, a talk show celebrity elected as president. Scary, the accuracy of that prediction. Yeah, all right. Robin Williams was actually, I don't know. Yeah, it's funny how much we were warning everyone, how much art was warning just how silly we could treat things that are supposed to be serious, and we walked right into it. Adam says, any plans on attempting more video game streams Sunday night? And if you don't mind kicking over to Twitch, follow me there, sub there, prime me there. Once the new season starts of Arc Raiders, I'll probably be smashing that for a bit. And then whenever I start playing Resident Evil, that will happen too. I remember when I lived in the USA, people would cut the meal in half straight away to take it home in a doggy bag. Well, if this isn't, yeah, that's not moving. The chat, the OBS. Okay, wait, come on. Charles in Charge would be a good channel name. Would it? Would it? That's hacky. That's pretty hacky. Listen, I'm not above being hacked, but it's pretty hacky. CP, yeah, I got no kids, but as long as I'm not in the hospital dying from my non-existent gallbladder, I'm down for whatever. Cue Cody appearing in the chat. No, I have to say something about what, foreign language films, or me taking the bullet for him watching shit that he doesn't. You'll never know he doesn't watch it until I am the buffer, and I say, all right, Cody, this might be worth watching, but more often than not, it's like, yeah, thanks, Cody. I wasted 90 minutes. You should not do the same. But that might be the ringing bell for Cody. I don't know. Ronnie, $5 super chat. Thank you. Hey, CP, would you and gang be interested in doing 3131 debrief on sci-fi horror action movies like Starship Troopers, Pitch Black, Riddick, Doom? It's not the worst idea. We did sci-fi a while ago. It seems like our schedule is a little mapped out. That's what I'll say. Very busy. Everyone's busy, but at the same time, we're trying to figure out, all right, if we do things, what are we doing? So it's hard to ask if we would be doing things the same time we've just canceled the half yearly one. So it doesn't sound too bad, but there's some suggestions that have kind of stayed high on the list. There's some stuff that I'm not saying it's happening immediately or very soon, but like there's the war topic, there's Westerns topic. Those are, intriguing to the gang. So there's a lot of interesting ideas. I want to see Michael Myers wearing a baseball cap backwards. Ronnie says, hey, CP, have you done your 1 minute Unkilled Tony yet? No. And I don't know. I think I'd be against doing it because there's no winning. There's no winning. I'm not completely against doing it. I just, for the sake of my ego, I wouldn't know how to, without any like modern practice, I wouldn't know how to prep for it. And I feel like I'd be playing into tropes and trying to do my most crass material. for as much as I mock other comedians who are like, oh, they're just playing to that crowd, I would do the same thing. And I would do like my porn material, I think maybe. And if it didn't work, I'd be like, all right, so I can't read crowds. But I probably shouldn't be doing this anymore, which I'm technically not. Raiders says, I just watched Faces of Death and The Mummy last week. Both were okay. I'm Faces of Death is not playing where I am. I'm really curious to see that for a number of reasons, because that might be a piece of content that benefits me to watch and review. I've heard that it's not terrible, which is surprising. What about Selma Hayek? Did you see the news that Mummy 4 has been moved up to October 2027 instead of May 28? I did not. It's interesting. All right, so I'm caught up with chat. Are we still live? Oh, so this is Frozen. That's interesting. So that's Frozen, which means that's just shot. Just shot. Oh, Selma Hayek trying to stop. Yeah, okay. I see now. Oh, just before I go to switch over to the preloaded questions, Ronnie, $5 super chat. Thank you. CP, do you or have you watched comedian podcasts like The Regs? Are You Garbage? Tuesdays with Stories? I've watched some Bad Friends stuff. I don't know, like, I stopped doing stand-up at a really stupid time for me. It's not to say that I don't know. I don't know what that's implying, but I kind of wanted to talk about movies, and I was kind of tired. Like, if I made this about me talking about me, there's this like separation that I have with stand-up that I don't want to be reminded of it for whatever reason. It's not to say I don't watch, clips of certain podcasts, but I don't subscribe to any of them. I'll catch one if it get dropped into my algorithm or something. But I don't know, I don't like being reminded of what I stopped doing. It's very personal, very very childish. But it I don't know. I have seen some. Don't get me wrong. I have seen some, but there's this like weird wall that I have up that I can't allow myself to. I don't know. I feel like if I started enjoying it, I'd be like, oh, what? How dare I betray myself? And it's nonsensical, but can't explain it. I have way too many other problems to bring it up in therapy. First of all, I'd need a therapist to talk about that with. But old questions, or not old, but on the community post, Sean says, "Who is the best performance and worst performance of a stand-up comedian in a movie?" I'll go. Richard Pryor, worst in Superman 3, best Bill Burr, and King of Staten Island. Okay. It's like some of like Robin Williams' stuff. When Robin Williams was doing dramatic stuff, he was really good. I can't think of a worst. Yeah, Robin Williams picked the dramatic role, and Nightmares and Nerdscapes, Jamie Kennedy and Son of Mask. Yeah, that's pretty close. Yeah, Robin Williams was really, really good. So Kreider 20 with the updated Kreider picture, frustrating. why won't you suggest Arc Raiders to Cody? This was asked to me the last time I streamed and then got booted because there's something wrong with the PS5 version of Arc Raiders. And I answered it then. I may do it. The season ends this week, so like my character will be resetting in the upcoming 2 weeks or so. The closest I'll get to suggesting it to him will be, hey, listen, I've got to start over. Why don't you try it? And we could, I could help you, and then you could surpass me in 2 hours. But the closest thing I will do to suggest to Cody will be in the next week or two, because I'll have to reset. And the thing is, I don't like suggesting games because they're expensive. It's one thing, because someone suggests a movie, I ask my uncle for it. Not exactly the same avenues with a game. And even though Arc Raiders, I think it's $40, $50, and my copy was sponsored. Every time I play that game, you thank Lapsed Comic Fan, because he gifted me that game. It's hard for me to be like, hey, I know you suggested something to me and it's only 90 minutes that I had to waste. Here, drop 3 times a ticket price and potentially invest 10, 15, 20 hours if you don't like it on something. And again, when he's busy, like, I would hate to have him drop money, like game money, and 5, 6, 7 movies worth of time on something if he doesn't like it. And like, the reward is if he ends up liking it the way, like, I don't know someone in my circle that does not like that game, but I don't want to. It could be a thing where it's like, I really like it. If he hates it, I'm like, oh, that's a shame. It's like this moment where you want to share something with someone, but the danger of him not enjoying it would kind of bum me out. Like, oh, you don't like it? Well, that's a shame. Too bad you're not cool, I guess, huh? But I will we had a discussion a couple of days ago. I will probably try to get as close as I can without pushing him into it. Like last year or 2 years ago, he wanted me to play, what was it? Helldivers 2. And the thing I'll say is money's tight. I would hate to be like, yeah, I'm not going to play the game, or not going to buy the game that you suggested, but you play the game that I suggested. That's also another thing where, if I can't hunker down and throw money down on a game, who the hell am I to ask someone else to do that, is the cleanest way to put it. So I will do the closest thing to a shoulder nudge, like, hey, we could be at the same level if you do it this week. But that's not exactly a ringing endorsement, but there's the long version of that story. What do you think George Carlin would be talking about in his stand-up if he was alive now? Jesus. It's another thing where it's weird. It's weird that things that we were like, oh, America could never get this bad. Like 20 years ago, the joke, like, oh man, we're getting really crazy, aren't we? I don't know. I feel like if Carlin was around this whole time, there would be a side that ended up hating him because of the division in the country is just so stark. I hate to tell you, like, I've seen clips where people where they're adopting Carlin's words for a side of the aisle that he was not on. He hated all politicians, but he hated rich people and people who think that he would be MAGA. Like, I don't think you're paying attention to his material at all. Um, not the biggest fan of Republicans, not the biggest fan of Democrats, but not the biggest fan of politicians. Um, I don't know what I think Carlin would be talking about in his stand up now, but it, he was bleak during the George W. Bush days. I would hope that it would be biting and quite funny. But like the reality of our country is so much funnier than anything you could think up. Like we're just a joke. And I don't know how do you improve on something that's unbelievable? But I would have loved to hear Carlin do material on. I remember when what's her name? What's her name from Alaska with the glasses? Like she was crazy. George was already gone by then. I would love to have heard his material on her. Um, and Biden, like I think the fact that all of our people are like over the age of retirement, he would shred that. Um, I would love to hear it. I don't know. He'd probably have a lot of shit to say about phones and everything too. But it'd be interesting. Um, I was wondering if you could expand on why you seem to focus on all sides of a topic. For instance, having a debate on why something is either true or untrue. um, could expand on why I seem to focus on all sides. I think I did that earlier, didn't I? Sarah Palin, thank you, Troy. Yes. Yes. Sarah Palin was like Trump 1.0. And I remember it in the news cycle that was silly. Go watch Game Change. Game Change? Anyway, um, I think it has a lot to do with my childhood. Um, a lot of like figures of speech and things that happened. Like I had to grow up a lot as a child, and I experienced the truth as a kid, where like you would hear people say things that you just say because it's the right thing to say, but there's no substance behind it. Like people being nice, like the cliche, anytime if you need something, let me know anytime. People just say that because it's good sounding. Um, I would rather someone, at a young age, I just like at a certain point it was like stop telling me something nice because I'm a kid and you don't want to say something negative, because me finding out the hard way that you're just full of shit like is far more devastating than you just saying no, this isn't what's going to happen. So I, I I think part of it is wanting to know, like it seems like no one wants to say the truth if they think it won't be received well. So if someone says something and it's at all positive, I want to know, all right, so what's the worst case on that thing? Um, is that called that gaslighting, where people tell you something and it's not true? I think having to experience things where people were telling me something and me experiencing something very different, uh, in those moments, it was like you're saying this thing, but what I'm experiencing is not that. Um, so that's where like the seed started with that. And I'd rather the three sides to every story thing, yours, mine, and the truth. Um, I don't know. Something happened as a young child where people just saying things because they're nice sounding. It got very old very fast, and I don't know. I seem to respect people who are able to say something negative or just not say anything. Like, it's just very weird to me when people say things just to, like, seem socially acceptable. So, um, when something comes up where, it seems a little too good to be true, I kind of am always cautious where it's like, "All right, what are you hiding? What could be the worst version of what you're saying?" And, like I said earlier, there's tons of things where, like, on a case by case basis, certain things don't apply for everything. So it's very hard to be, I don't know. It depends. It started when I was young, and I have more respect. Like if someone says this is going to suck, and here are the reasons why, I tend to have a bit more respect for it. Where if you're just telling me something, there's like nothing that is good about what you're telling me, but it's some version of honesty. On that occasion, I'd be like, "Oh, wait a minute. What if this happens? What's the best possible scenario?" So it's just this uh, dealing with social interactions and realizing that people, rather than just being quiet, will say things. I don't know, to be polite. It's far less an issue in Denmark. It's a very American thing to be forward and polite, even if no one's asking you to be. In my experience, um, eh, Americans, or at least it's just our culture or something, we're very forward and want to seem like polite and nice, but behind closed doors is where the honesty happens. And I don't know. I'd like to know all versions of how someone thinks and feels. So I don't know. I try to provide a safe outlet. We're only talking about movies, first of all, but it's easier with movies because if someone's right, what does it matter? If someone's wrong, what does it mean? It's fiction. What does it matter? No one's right, no one's wrong. It's fiction. It's Ronnie Gardner, hey CP, Jason X Voorhees or Jeepers Creepers. If you're just talking about the character, I'll take Jeepers Creepers. If we're just talking about the character, I'm not a fan of. I I don't. I've said this. I feel like I've said this 50 times. I'm not a big fan of the Kane Hodder era of Jasons. It has nothing to do with like him, the actor, but those movies are like my least favorite of the Friday the 13th movies. Hey, I'm the new Jason, a character that is definitely dead right now. Let me introduce big breathing into the zombie character. To show my knowledge of stand up, I have never heard George Carlin. That's not a joke. I believe it. Um, Gaslighting would be something like, remember when we watched this thing? We didn't watch that. Yeah, we did though. Oh, okay. So in closing, everyone is polite, super polite in Denmark? No, no, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is in Denmark, they don't say things just to seem like they're on your side. Denmark is the only country where in a hospital, a doctor said to me, "You're just going to have to suffer." Like a doctor in a hospital in Denmark said, "You're going to have to suffer." Like that was such a broken response for me. I was just like, "Wait, what?" It's your job to make me feel better. And like It sucked. First of all, I was like, just pain meds, please. Um, but like I respected the brutal honesty. Like, there's nothing I can do about it. Just there's a bed here. What do you want us to do? But they don't feel the need to say something to make you feel good, especially if it's not something they're going to do. Which I have way more respect for that than someone just saying platitudes and shit just so that you don't think that they're the bearer of bad news, but you are the bearer of incorrect news. You're lying to these people. Does that matter? So I just appreciated Denmark, or I mean, it's a bit more the case. France, I don't speak French, but the ones that spoke English were far less, I don't know, American. And the UK, there's a bit of that fake politeness thing, but there's like when you spend more than enough time away from America, you realize that we're lying to everyone. And I don't mean lying, but our neighbors were really polite. And once we go back behind closed doors, the things we said outside are not the things that we say in private. It's weird. In Denmark, they're not very sociable. They're not as friendly as you would imagine. The second happiest country on the world would be, but at the same time, they don't fucking lock their doors. Like, they leave their doors open. Like it was very hard for me to get used to things like that. Having a closed door was like, I don't know. They took it personally, like you were trying to shut them out. But wouldn't say anything about it because I don't know. It's interesting. If I were to do stand up again, I would probably do material on my experiences with different civilizations in the world because it's been very, very interesting. I think I have material if I pressed myself. I at the very least I have material on the differences between America, the UK, and Denmark, definitely because I've spent a certain amount of time in those three places. Oh, Ronnie says I meant who would win in a fight between Jason X and Jeepers Creepers. Well, I mean, Jason X is like superhuman, right? Right? I guess Jason X, because he's evil has an upgrade, and if it's not the 23 years, the creeper is kind of out of commission. Yeah, that what I'll say is it's a movie that I'm not excited to watch. That's for sure. Did I get all of the old questions? I think I did. Yeah. All right. So we're caught up. I will open up for a little bit longer if anyone in chat has anything to ask or comment on or what have you. I'm sorry that OBS is broken. I wonder if it's just not working. It's stuck. Can we get an update on the CP Janeka feud? It's not a feud at all. It was, I felt like as someone who respected what she was saying about victims, I'm very sensitive to that. As someone, listen, if the person you're talking about is doing terrible things, tell me, to tell my audience. It's something that if it needs to be heard, it needs to be heard. But at the same time, in my experience, what you're saying is bullshit. I have nothing in my experience that is comparable to what you're proclaiming. And she played. I don't know. There's this weird thing that I don't know. There's certain people that say things a certain way, and um, they only seem to pay attention when they're getting compliments, and anything that contradicts what they're saying, that they act like it never happened. So never got a response. I did get blocked. So I guess the short answer to your inquiry is I'll never know because I was blocked. Um, it's weird. Like if she's the one that has to do all the like if she's exposing something genuinely, why block me? Um, I was trying to give you a platform. Who else to give you an inside track on to tell the world what a terrible person Cody is, but one of his closest friends on YouTube didn't take me up on that. That's weird. It's almost like she's got nothing there. It's almost like she's just talking out of her ass. But try to that's another thing going back to the asking questions about having both sides of a story. Yeah, I don't have to tell you that I'm like embedded on the Cody camp in this situation, but for the sake of, what if? All right, well, here, tell me, straighten me out. It's weird. It's weird that, for the sake of victims, why are you not keep going? Why are you stopping now? It's weird. It's very weird. Doc says, I can confirm you never got a direct response. Kind of funny since I got blocked for checks notes, making her uncomfortable. Yeah, I wonder what defense Cody would have for what the fuck she did. And it's weird because there's these like social media, social justice people that like take on these causes that there's not really anything there. But in the horror community, there are people that if you wanted to make a fuss and say, why is this person have a following, or why does this person get away with doing what they're doing? There's people that you can focus on, that there's a lot of proof that these people are doing underhanded, terrible things, but they never seem to get the attention from these people. It's really interesting. And let me just say this for anyone who needs it to be heard from me. Stop sending unsolicited pictures to anyone. Please make sure that everything's acceptable and like you're in a relationship that is okay, or just wait until you're in each other's company, because it's the internet, and anything you send over the internet can be used against you by someone that isn't in that conversation. Don't be shitty. If you have no reason to believe that a person you're talking to would like to see all of you, don't do it. The fact that we celebrate certain people in the horror community and act like certain things aren't happening is just fucking priceless. But I'm not a nice guy in public, so what the hell do I know? I say things that people don't want to hear. Now, it'd be worse if I said things that people don't want to hear and sent them pictures that they don't want to see. But apparently, if you're nice on the internet, but also send pictures people don't want to see, that's okay because, well, He's nice. You don't like where this is going. Never have I sent a picture of anything of me. I've put pictures up on like Instagram of things where it's a satirical thing where I think there was one where I had the ghost face mask on underwear. I have put images where I've put fruit in my pants and done satire of people who do thirst traps, but I assure you, anything out there, don't ever worry about me. I've had interest in my wife, someone else that nothing really happened with. I never really got to anything like that. I don't get it. But there's things that I do that people would not understand, and that's fine. Like, listen, I lock myself up in a room and I get really bad with the agoraphobia. People don't understand that. I understand, but when someone, never mind. It's unfortunate that there's people paying attention to someone who just doesn't say everything you agree with, and then you try to find something to make them a villain with, when there's people out there who are doing some really seedy shit out there, is what I will say. He's only hard out his scars for free. I keep telling him OnlyFans. Yeah, I have 2 scars. I've probably disgusted people with medical pictures, but not nude medical pictures. I have not put up a picture of me wearing a Jason mask jockstrap. I'm sorry, I don't know where. Oh, that came up to. It came from the fact that people were taking on the cause of. It's weird. It's weird that 2 years in a row, someone tried to make something of Cody that just isn't a thing. Or a lot of people in the horror community this past year, it seems like it was like a proxy thing, that taking on Cody because he does a podcast with someone else, and like it's really faulty. The premise is really faulty. And if anything, I get these people are in the minority here, whether it be a woman or someone who's in the LGBTQ community, but what you're doing is making a bad name for an already minority group. People can point to your underhanded nature and say, "Oh, see, they're trying to glom onto their communities while doing nefarious things, and it's a bad look for your communities." I don't think making something out of Cody on the behalf of feminism, not a great look, because there's not really things there. And what happens is you give feminism a bad name. If you're doing something for the queer community and you're doing underhanded things and lying, it's a bad look for that community. If you're doing things for the sake of the community, and again, the horror community, it's a bad look for these little subcategories. Like, it's one thing if you're like, I don't agree with his movie takes. Congratulations. That's what this shit is. That's at least something that makes sense, and it isn't that far-fetched, because they're opinions. There's plenty of that to go around, to have a differing opinion and feel like someone's crazy because they don't like Nightmare on Elm Street 5 or whatever. Like, it's just weird. A jar of mucus, but never nudes. Douche canoe is a disturbingly underused insult. All right. Yeah. Give another 5 minutes, and then we'll shut her down. I just want to say thank you guys to those of you who dropped super chats. I'll be with Brian tomorrow night. We'll be doing the watch it, buy it, stream it. I don't remember the title of the stream, but we'll be talking about some recent stuff we've seen. And Sunday night, we'll be doing a bunch of Arc Raider stuff. If I do get Cody to play it, I'm imagining there'll be some sort of streams there as well. But on Patreon, there's a like mini update video, which kind of is a precursor to this. Channel members, you'll get a copy of that soon-ish. I had something to show you and I don't have it. So I don't have you anything. Don't get me started on why Nightmare 5 is way too underrated. Okay. I was using an example, but that's the one with the mom, right? Dream Child. What I have to write myself a note is to figure out what the hell the problem with OBS is. This is frustrating. Like this. I'm happy to see that at least it broke in real time. So there's that. A week from today or tomorrow, there will be I will be doing the April in review movies I watched, first time watches. There's a couple there. There's an old movie or two in there. There's definitely one that's at least 30 years old. That was interesting. But next weekend I'll be doing a stream of all the first time watches. And I'm hoping to have watched Michael by then. Michael, Project Hail Mary is something that will go there. I'm a human. Let me prove it. A weird movie that was on Amazon, How to Lose a Popularity Contest. That was an experience. But yeah. All right. So thank you to those of you who dropped questions. Thank you to those of you who dropped super chats. And post anything down below if you'd like questions answered that you didn't see covered here. And I'll maybe do some follow-up or something. And we'll see what happens. And subscribe and comment and subscribe. Favorite Michael Jackson song? Pretty Young Thing. PYT. It's not the most popular song, but for some reason I quite dig that song. I think there's footage. I think there's footage of me in my car that tells you how long ago it was, where I was actually probably wasn't on YouTube because that would have been clipped for copyright. But it's PYT. There's a clip somewhere of me on the road dancing to PYT. I feel like I blue balls you by saying, oh, yeah, it exists, but you can't see it. Don't know where it would be because I don't. I wouldn't know where to look. But yeah, questions down below. We'll see you in the near future.